What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Sweat It Out podcast.
If you want to be successful, look inside.
We don't like sitting in the discomfort.
Then all of a sudden that day came when I got $20 and 2 free drinks to do a show, and I was like, oh shit, here we go, baby. You know?
Thank God she hasn't caught a chicken yet, because she'll tear his head off.
Don't be soft.
That patience is key.
If all my friends are winning, then it's going to make me want to win more.
All right. We are back on the Sweat It Out podcast, and today we are very excited to have this amazing guest with us today who's going to really teach us some really good stuff for you guys to know, to be able to scale. He is the founder of Ace of Spades Agency, running TV, press, podcast, personal branding. This guy's going to take you to the next level. He runs his own marketing agency that is just going to provide so much value for you guys. So please help us welcome the one and only JJ. What's up, brother?
Come on, man. Listen, we're here another day, another dollar. What do we need to do to promote you?
Ooh,
that's what I say.
We're going to have to get suits like yours, first of all. That's all I know.
Come on, man. Listen, you know, they say I used to do some dating coaching back in the day when I was doing lifestyle training, and they say within 7 seconds you make your first impression of someone. I think it's within 3. I think when you look at someone with your brain, you go, do I like this person? Do I not like this person? Do I trust this brand? Do I not trust this brand? So, man, how do you show up every day is really important, man.
I love that.
So how do you make sure you show up, you know, and provide that value first and foremost right when you meet someone? What are some of the things that you know, when you think about when you're about to get on that call or you're about to jump on, you know, a Zoom recording like this and you're like, hey, I want to make that good first impression? What are some things you think about beforehand?
Yeah, so I think about, like, I've done this once, I could do it again. You know, that mindset is crucial to everything. I just really feel like going in there, even just whether I speak with someone who may have just started their business or someone that's like double as old as I am and has made, I spoke to a guy doing $1 million a day the other day. You know what I mean? That's a big client, you know, or that's what's capable. And I went in there with the same energy I would go on with any call. I'm not going to try to be different because this person is different. I'm going to come with me. And then I know I've done it and it's worked. Why would I change that? Mm-hmm. So I think it's really going into something and going, hey, like, it's okay. And this isn't the only ever call I'll ever get in my life as well. You know, do you guys go on sales calls and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to do. And then you think you're going to go into it this way and then it completely goes in a different direction. Mm-hmm. So you've got to be okay of like, just flow with it, man. You know?
So how do you get more people to start thinking that way? Like, what are some of the things you would say that would impact others to start thinking more like that? Yeah,
well, you know, and look, and let me just, before I answer any more, I want to be very upfront with everybody. Today, I'm going to share some stuff, and it's going to invoke some emotion because the emotion is going to come from something that you've been led to believe your whole life. So I'm going to bring some stuff up, and I just want to be the first transparent guy to say, listen, I'm going to challenge your thoughts and beliefs because I had to do that for my whole life, right? You know, and I just want to share that with everybody listening. So how you do that is to get into the zone, I would really look at yourself, right? I would be like listening to yourself and going, okay, what do I believe for? What do I care for? Like, what's important to me, right? And to get yourself into that zone, boys, you've got, like, it comes down to that belief in you. Like, I know it's not really the strongest answer right now, but look at anyone else that you look at as value in your life, right? What are they doing every day? What are their things they're moving and grooving, and how are they like articulating and getting this mindset in check? So how do you get into that? I would say getting yourself into the state, getting yourself into that state. We all know when we feel good, right? You, Josh, like you guys know it, right? You know when you feel good. So how do you get into that state every day so you just feel like, I'm on. It's on, man.
And how about those people that are having one of those days where they get up and they're like, I'm not feeling good? How do you, what are some of the general things that you would share that you say, you know what, if you can at least start with this, because you might not know what to use to feel good. Like, what are some of those general things that you would share that you say, these things can help you start feeling good, and then you'll start figuring out other things that you know you create for yourself that will make you feel good every single day?
Well, you know, once again, look at what everyone else is doing. Most of the world, like a lot of the big winners, are getting up and moving They're doing some kind of movement, man. Like you guys know it, I know it, and when I use the word movement, not gym, because movement doesn't have to be, you have to go do bench press.
I agree.
Yeah, right. I had to change that. I did fitness modeling for a little bit, and I had a bit of an image problem. It's a common thread for people who are constantly looking at their bodies every day. You just, even as a man, right, you become weak, you become insecure. And I just had to change it from, instead of gym, to movement. Should I go up and kick a soccer ball today? Hey, maybe I'm just gonna do some star jumps and like get into my zone and like pretend to like punch the punching bag, the fake punching bag. So getting yourself into a state where you bring up that dopamine, so you go into the day after a shower just feeling like, yo, it's on, man. Like it's really important,
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is understanding that, okay, I'm investing in myself first before I try to invest into other people, right? Or into other activities, like making sure that I'm taking care of, maybe the 2 to 4 things that I need to accomplish before I go into my workday, right? For myself in particular, so that I can feel focused on doing those things. Because a lot of the time, I'm a online fitness coach, and a lot of times what I see people going through in life is that they get in this rut because they're not taking time to do the things that they know that they want to do for themselves, right? Before they start their workday, or before they go be with their family, right? And they constantly feel like they're giving and giving and giving without giving to themselves, right? They're giving to other people. And when you can start giving to yourself, then it feels like, these other things that I have to do throughout my day aren't so daunting. They're opportunities, right? It's not me taking away from my time. It's okay, I've done the things I need to do for myself so that I can now have the opportunity to give to other people, instead of feeling like I have to do this because it's taking away from my time to do the things I need to do. No, I've already done those things. I've woken up early. I've eaten breakfast. I've gone and I've moved my body around, or I've meditated, or I've read, right? Whatever the things that you want to accomplish for yourself, get those done first, so that you don't feel like these other things that you have to do throughout your day are taking away from those things. There are opportunities then after that point.
And it's like, it always goes back to what, at least for myself, what I say is, well, what are my pillars of importance? I say health, right? Number 1. That's my movement, my body, my mind, my soul, what I'm feeding myself, my recovery. And then I go into my self-care, like, am I making time to do the things I want to do for me, my hobbies, dating myself, taking myself out, doing something I enjoy. And then I got my family, my business, right? Because if you create the best version of you, you can then pour into these other things at the bottom, right? But if you're working in reverse, then you're just constantly stressing yourself because you're not fulfilling those big needs that you need to keep that engine running, like you said, to wake up with that excitement, that energy, that motivation, to be in that state every single day, right? Not every day we're gonna be exactly the same like the day before, the day after, but at least if you gave it your best and you said, I can generally say I gave it my best today and I gave it with my most energy, I think that's when you win.
Yeah, you got to put you first. Put the life jacket on yourself before you save someone else.
Mm-hmm. Totally.
Like, and it's like, how can you perform at for others' best if you're not at your best? I'm a very logical thinker. It's like, look, I get it, all those emotions, family, business, I get all that, but you got to take care of yourself first. Mm-hmm. Done. Like, that's it. Like, there's no like, you can't charm your way into your own, like, it's not I'm going to think about feeling good. Dude, we know how you make yourself feel good, So 100%.
Yeah. And, obviously you're one of the best at what you do, if not the best. And I would love to start diving into, marketing and PR and all of the things that really, drive your business. When people think about marketing, I hear this all the time. People are like, ad spend, right? It's all about running ads and do this. I'm like, well, there's so much more to marketing than just spending money on ads, right? Like, how do you get people to start to reshape or restructure or rethink the way that they're going about their marketing?
Yeah, well, I like to use the word promotion. I like that better, because marketing is sort of like, what is an entrepreneur? I'm an entrepreneur. Your mom's an entrepreneur. My dog's an entrepreneur now. It's like, what is an entrepreneur? So I would always say, like, the way I try to educate the market, right, is I would say, and I'll ask you guys this. What was the last thing, I'll ask you this, Anthony, what was the last thing you bought?
The last
Online, offline, last thing you bought? Could have been a Starbucks double espresso cup. What was the last thing you bought?
All right, the last thing I bought was yesterday, and it was groceries at the grocery store. So it's specific. I guess I'll pick one grocery, I guess, from the grocery store. I bought the let's see, something brand. Oh, I bought the what's the name of the brand now? It's the kids toothpaste for my little girl. It's the Tom's. There we go. Tom's toothpaste.
Okay, and you like the taste? You like using it? It's for
my little girl. It's for my little, so she loves using it. That's her. Okay, I tried 3 different ones. She loves that one. That's the one that she gives me the least headache with. So.
Okay, great. All right. So let me ask you this: why did you choose that rather than everything else? Now, obviously, your daughter likes that, so she's influencing your decision, right? But why did you make the decision? There's a million toothpaste, right? Why? Because it's a marketing to you, promoting to you. They're running ads. They're doing some kind of they're getting your attention. And this is the same thing got to do with your brand. Whether you're a lawyer, a doctor, an actor, or an astronaut, a PR agency owner, podcast owners, fitness trainer. I'm always telling people, look at the biggest brands that you know. What are they constantly doing? They're promoting. They're everywhere. Coca-Cola is not the best drink. It's so full of sugar. It's full of I don't even know what it's full of. But they're everywhere. You go to any country in the world and say Coca-Cola, they know what you're talking about. My gosh, that's billions of dollars a year. Probably $1 trillion company. So coming back to your point, it's sometimes a lot of people, they're, like we said at the beginning of the call, you got to reprogram their brain to think about promoting and why it's important and why people are making decisions. And the more we can get my clients into that space, they have a different set of glasses on how they look at things. And unfortunately, I don't have to do that much education now, because when people come to me, they sort of understand they have to do it. But I still get calls where people are like, why is that important? What's the ROI? What's the ROI if I invest in getting a blue tick on Instagram? What's the ROI on getting on a podcast? I don't see dollar in, dollar out. So a lot of the times, man, it's just having these conversations and educating the market about promotion.
And how do you get people to shift away from that, because it is such a valuable tool to be able to take a step back and go, okay, I might not get $1 today, but the ROI is going to be there. How do you get people to really reframe the way that they're thinking about the return on their investment? So that they are more likely to do things like podcasts or do things like, going TV, in press TV, going out and, even just having a coffee with somebody where they're not going to directly make a sale on that coffee.
Yeah, well, facts tell, stories sell, right? So do what I just did with you guys. Ask stories, Hey, what's the ROI on your little daughter, Anthony?
Sure. It's huge.
There's nothing. What's the ROI on your family? Yeah. What's the ROI when someone Googles your name and immediate trust comes up? Mm-hmm. Oh, Jay, that's a good point. So it's more like you have to constantly reinforce the ideas of we're making decisions, not just based off a dollar in, dollar out. We're making decisions based on a lot of other things. And if your trust isn't there, what's a big problem in the marketplace? How many fitness trainers there are saying that they can get you shredded in 6 weeks, and maybe some can, but most of it's just you don't know what to believe anymore. Yeah. So that credibility, the authority, you being seen constantly is going to give you more of a chance to be chosen over the next guy. There's a lot of personal trainers that I know that are incredible people. They have brains, they studied science, but then they're broke. Why? Because they're not promoting. They're not putting themselves out there, and they're waiting for the world to just find them. Yeah. That's the artist mentality.
So Jay, my bad. I was going to ask you, just because I believe in all this stuff, and I know the importance of it, and I know what it can do for others. Right. Having these different, being seen on different platforms and getting this exposure, and obviously the more more eyes you see on it, and then they come across you on social media. It's whoa, I saw this, I saw that, or the product, or him or her. For you, when somebody is starting off, what do you feel are the first go-to things that you need to get yourself into immediately? What are the things that you would say these are requirements for you to start your path of building that personal brand exposure, getting yourself out there, your services, your product, whatever it is? Like, what would you say those things that you need to get on ASAP?
Well, other than the core things of like, you've got to be okay with rejection and putting yourself out there, right? The fear of people rejecting you and judging you. Let's move away from the deep-seated stuff. The tactical stuff would be creating content, telling everybody who I am, what I do, what I'm about, like retelling the messaging on your stories, man. This is free. You can literally press a button and like do free. You have a tool like Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, OnlyFans, whatever you got to do, man, to get yourself out there. And so many people are scared and they want to wait for the perfect landing page. And I'm like, dude, no one even knows you, man. Right? So from a tactical point of view, if anyone's listening, like if you put videos out on the internet, you don't have to be me. I've had training doing this for 10 years, but if you do something that most people in their minds say that they've told themselves they can't do, you will just get respect, right? And it could be simple. Like you guys have trainers listening to you, right? We have a coach, a client who's a personal trainer. Dude, you just got to get out and say, hey, what are the 3 foods? What are the 3 myths? I get them to write the top FAQs, top 10 FAQs that people ask them. They're 10 pieces of content now that you have. Hey, I've heard that people shouldn't eat after 8 o'clock. That's a complete myth. That's a piece of content, you know? Are carbs bad for you? That's another like myth, or, you know, all these kind of questions that you constantly answer. How can you turn that into content? Putting yourself out there will make you an expert. And when you're seen as an expert compared to most other people, you become the go-to person in the client's mind. Remember, they don't know about all the amount of trainers in the world. They know the lawyer, the doctor, the personal brand guy, the gym guy. They don't have 50 choices. So if you can keep reconfirming to the marketplace, hey, I'm the expert, I know what I'm talking about, and showing up and doing videos, you like, and be consistent with that, you're going to have more of a chance to like get all the attention.
Yeah. And I think a big thing is like people are too hard on themselves, right? They don't, and we talk about it all the time, imposter syndrome, where they're like, oh, I don't meet this qualification of, you know, what people are, or who people are going to assume is, you know, the expert in the field. It's like, well, again, if, like you were saying, if you don't put the content out there, well, nobody's going to be able to find you to then start believing in the fact that you actually know what the fuck you're talking about.
Or again, the people who are like, oh, I don't have the right equipment, or I don't have the this, or I don't have that. And I'm like, yo, start with what you have, because what you have is plenty, guys. Like, it really is. Like, yo, your phone shoots 4K. Like, it has great audio. Like, just start. Right? Put yourself out there.
Yeah. It's, you know what it is? Half the time is getting to the root of the problem. The root of the problem is they're scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, it's the fear. It's the same person with the overweight person waiting for the perfect, I need the protein powder. I need my organic chicken breast. I need the gym close to my house. Like, dude, it's all just fear. Mm-hmm. You're scared. You don't really want it, or you're scared. That's okay. So what I do when I work with clients, I bring up all those emotions at the beginning. You know, it's like in sales, right? Bring up the objection before they come up. Hey, this is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. So they're like, oh, I'm probably going to think I'm an introvert. I'm probably going to think I'm not good on camera. I'm going to be judged. So yeah, just but if I tell anyone like right now, if you do 30 days of videos, like I give people challenges, do a video every morning before 10 o'clock, get up, have a coffee, just do a video. That it's like going to the gym, right? Just get on the treadmill and start walking. Anyone overweight, like just go to the gym, just walk on the treadmill. That's it. Just do that. Don't even worry about anything else. If you do that routine, that discipline, man, that's powerful stuff. So it's the same thing with the brand.
But Jay, is that it? Is that all we need to do? Right? And then that's what people start.
Well,
right? Is that the only thing?
Yeah.
And also people think
that's what usually happens.
Well, people think that they need to be doing everything too, right? They see, you know, they see us on this podcast with all the, you know, nice equipment, and they're like, I need to have all that stuff, or I can't. It's like, well, we didn't start with all this shit. We started in our apartments. You know, doing audio
shitty
only.
headphones and my phone.
Yeah, doing audio only. It's like, well, we started where we knew we were at. Instead of setting these expectations that we were never going to meet at the time, we brought it back to a level where we felt confident we could at least get going, and then we were able to build from there. But too many people set these, you know, and I'm all for setting, you know, risky goals that, are difficult to achieve because that keeps the motivation high. But you also have to meet your expectations day to day or week by week or month by month where you're actually starting from. People think that they're starting at mile 10 when really they're starting at the beginning.
Yeah. And the one thing, you're so right. The one thing we have to remember, keep your head down. Stop looking at everybody else. Right. Dude, people can look at you boys. Well, these boys, they've been doing it for like years, they've been doing it longer than you. People go to me, well, it's easy for you to say. I'm like, yeah, it is, because I've been doing it longer than you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, so how about we stop using excuses, come back to me in 30 days with 30 videos and let's talk. That's your post-it note strategy.
Love that.
But so many people, like, they want to bring up, they just want, like, I get fear and I get excuses. Fear is like, I can feel it. And then you're just giving me an excuse. Like, you know it, I know it. So it's okay. Like, when you're ready to be serious, let me know. This is your plan of attack. Come back to me. That's it.
Mm. Okay? What do you do when people,
I may not be the best coach, but I get people results. So, like, you choose. I'm not your friend.
And a big part of that is being honest with people, right? Being honest with the timeline that it's going to take. Like, listen, and the expectations that you expect from them. So you're saying, like, okay, I expect you to do 30 videos in 30 days, right? Yeah. I'm setting the expectation that you're going to do those videos, but I'm also giving you a timeline that, like, hey, the ROI on those in terms of the dollars in your pocket aren't going to be there in 30 days. This is the actual expectation from those 30 videos. You're going to build authority, right? You're going to build consistency. And then once all those things are there, then the dollar amount will actually start showing up in your pocket or your bank account.
And Jay, where do you think people need to be right now putting those 30 videos? Like, where would you say your go-to spot?
Yeah, IG.
Okay.
IG. Yeah, it's my game. It's my baby. It's still a really great curated place, because remember, when you're on someone's Instagram, you're in there. Like, even if it's one swipe away from someone else's, but you're in their page. Yes, you're swiping, you're scrolling, but Instagram's still pretty powerful. I really like it. I just think there's a lot of movement with IG, and yeah, you can get a lot of play with it, And here's one other thing too. You can be very quick to get authority, because people won't scroll more than one or twice on someone's feed. Like, so if you have a grid of 9 and another grid of 9, that's 18 posts, you can really people sort of believe you. They don't really scroll too far. They're not going to keep scrolling. No. Okay. He's a gym guy. All right. If they like it, they'll investigate more.
It's very true. Very true. And that's why your content, you have to be rotating through these different types of pieces of content and sharing differences. Not just, like, obviously, like I always say all the time, at least with my clients, I'm like, you don't want to just show people workout videos all the time. I'm like, people already know you're a coach. Like, we know you're a coach. Also show, like, your personality, obviously your association with other people, like other, influencers, celebs, show content that shows your lifestyle, your hobbies, what makes you up as a person as well. And then, of course, in mix, you have your profession, and then, content that is going to hold you, create credibility for you, like the presses and the releases and the podcasts and all that stuff. And when you have a nice blend going on, then you have that grid you're talking about. They're like, damn, that's an interesting person. It's like, damn, okay, who's this? I want to know more.
Hey, then before I forget, let me give you the 3 perfect things that you need to do every month for your feed. Everyone asks me, what do I post? What do I post? Here's the 3 core pillars, right? You don't need to do anything else. This is like the gym. It's like the gym. There's only, like, what do they say? 5 or 6 exercises that you really need, right? Squats, bench press. I don't know. You guys tell me. But I've heard that and I've seen it happen over and over for me. So here are the 3 pieces of content. 1, educational pieces of content. You're the expert. So if you constantly keep bringing out content that's educational driven, why you're the expert in your space. For me, what kind of press do I get into? Why is press important? For gym people, what kind of food should I eat? What kind of protein should I absorb? Whey protein or eggs? Like, all these kind of educational value tips, you're educating the market while you're the expert. 2, results, third-party results, testimonials, screenshots of your text messages. Oh my gosh, Josh, you're amazing. I can't believe I feel that amazing after the gym, right? Now you may be thinking, well, Jay, that's not really a great testimonial. That's powerful because it's a text message. And when you show someone's text message from your phone, it feels like, oh, this is like personal. So people are like, oh, that's great. And he's praising you. There doesn't need to say, I lost 25 pounds in 20 days from your program. That's not the only thing. You could put like, Josh, you're amazing. You know what I mean? That's like really important. Third thing is personal brand. So you don't want to be the cookie cutter perfect fitness coach without having a personal brand life. So have a photo of you in your life, right? But don't just put up a photo of you with your shirt off and be like, great day for a beach trip. You're not an influencer. And that's stupid. Have a story of like, you can be like, I've always wanted abs my whole life, but I used to be fat. Have a story. Or have a photo of something that's revealing, right? It could be a photo of you overweight, and then they swipe across and it's you ripped. If you're a business coach, have a time of your bank account when it was minus 200 grand, and now you're making $1 million, you know? Have a story of like, let's say we work with a dating coach and she was like, not in a great, like she talks about image. She was not very attractive at the time. She put up that up and she's very attractive. She's very media attractive now, right? You're like, oh my gosh, is that you? I leaned in. When I was looking at it, I was like, I leaned in on the phone. That got me because it broke, she revealed. And when you have that kind of personal kind of revealing part of your life, not only do you have the education, you have the results from other people, but you have actually a real person and they can relate to you. Oh my gosh, your account's good, you know?
Yeah.
So they're the three kind of strong moves.
You know, people always think, oh, when someone buys your product that they're buying the product. No, they're buying you, right? They're really buying like what you're going to bring to the table, because when you develop a product, like that's your heart and soul, that's your baby, right?
And your story.
You know, they're in your story, right? Because it's all the experiences that led you to be able to build that program out. Why is that program going to be important for other people? Well, it all comes back to what you learned from it, right? And what impact it made in your life. Yeah, wouldn't you agree?
Oh, no, dude, 100%. We make decisions based on people. I'm not buying a robot, I'm buying you. You know, how many personal trainers are there? How many business coaches are there? How many Walmart shop selling guys are there? Like, dude, I want to get to know you. I want to buy you. I made decisions based on people, based off the people probably not even being as good, but I connected with that guy, you know? Now, obviously, I have to know that he's going to get a result. I have to know that he's like qualified. But if you have 10 people, right, that are all qualified, that look the part, that sound the part, what else you got going on? Well, they have to have a personality that I'm attracted to, that I like. You know, we want to do business with people we like.
That's
man.
right.
Like, dude, you know, I don't know many people that said, yeah, I bought it and I hated the dude. You never heard that. He was like, dude, I like the guy. He sounded good. Yeah, I want to do business with people. I want to work with people I like, period.
Agreed.
You know?
Agreed. You know, it's like you always have to ask yourself, you know, can you sit down at a bar and have a drink with this person? Right? Can you actually, if you're working in a work setting, can you sit down with this person and have a good conversation? Like, that's somebody I want to work with, right? Not somebody who I'm like, nah, they rub me the wrong way. I don't want to work with that person, you know, because then the energy is not going to be the same. Your show up is not going to be the same, and vice versa. So 100% agree with that. Now I want to talk a little bit about.
And be okay to say, sorry, I got to jump in. Be okay to say no. Go ahead. Be okay if any coaches are listening. The mistake I made, doesn't matter how much money they want to give you. Doesn't matter how, we all need to take the cash when we're starting our careers. I get it. But trust me on this, you will regret it 6 weeks in, 1 day in, 1 minute left after they give you the money. And you're like, this isn't it, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I've gone through that, you know, early on, like,
you
know, trying to get it because you need to get it at the moment. You got to make your money too, and it's a business. And if you're starting your business, like, man, but then you sit there and you're like, shit. You're like, oh man, I gotta work. You know.
And you know what? Let me give you a move, because I'm thinking now, if you're in this position, this happened to me. Let's say someone listening right now took on a client and they know they really shouldn't have, or like this is a challenging client. You need to get on the phone with them and be very clear with the expectations. Even if you're 2 weeks in, doesn't matter. Because if you let it stretch like a bad relationship, it's going to be worse. and you're going to pull the band-aid off now and say, hey, listen, Jason, I just want to have an open conversation with you. Try get them in more of the morning than the afternoon. You're going to get someone better at a peak state. And then say, hey, listen, this is where we're at the moment. And I just want to bring a couple things because I really want to help you, right? I need to set a couple of ground rules. And I apologize for not bringing this up at the beginning. I wanted to enroll you, but see how transparent I am and communicative I am. And if I've done this before, this is what I'm telling people, because there might be people right now going, oh man, I already got locked a guy in and he's terrible. So.
Yeah, and it really is about setting those expectations, right? I mean, I talk about it all the time, even with my girlfriend, like, oh, you know, I'm disappointed because something didn't happen, or she's disappointed because I didn't do something. It's like, well, fuck, we didn't communicate properly and set the expectations that was needed, right? So that we were both on the same page with what our actions are supposed to be moving forward, right? But when you're able to actually have that conversation, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't even know that you wanted this from me, right? I just assumed that, you know, this was going to allow me to do X, Y, and Z, but it wasn't necessary. It's like, no. It is 100% necessary, and X, Y, and Z is the reason why. And now you need to start incorporating in your life and making it more of an importance, because it is to me, and it should be for you if you're talking about a personal relationship, or, you know, as a business coach, right? Like, hey, like with me in fitness, like you need to be training, you know, you need to be moving your body 4 days a week. Well, I didn't even know, I thought that I could only get away with 3. It's like, no, 4, because it allows you to do the things you need to do on a consistent basis to be able to get the results you want, instead of, you know, getting subpar results that, you know, you and I both know you're not going to be happy with at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Now, brother, I really want to dive in, which I know I was gonna go in there, but I'm glad you stopped me, because that was a good point you brought up. But I really want to touch on the topics of, you know, presses, you know, press releases, exposure, TV, pubs, articles, features, all that stuff. When you're starting to get into that world, and when you're applying that to your personal brand, your business, how do you go about that? And what are your biggest suggestions for everybody out here who is considering wanting to scale, wanting to get that exposure? Where do you start with? Where do you recommend your clients to start with? What do you start them with?
Well, I get them started with, the first thing is being really clear on your messaging. Before we go out, I call it like, before we take you to the nightclub and get you laid, right? But before we make you pretty, before we get, you know, I'm like your plastic surgeon. Before I give you the nose job and the boob job and the ear job, we got to get a personality. And what I really mean by that is we got to get clear on the messaging. So if you go to the marketplace and you aren't super clear on what you do for people, it ain't going to work. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm clear. I know you're clear, but you're the guy that's selling it. What about everybody else that sees you? You're a personal trainer, but who do you help? What do you do? What exactly is your thing in the game, you know? And so a lot of people, me included, and I'm only telling you this from experience, I used to go to market and be like, how come no one's working with me? Because no one knew what I did. They don't know exactly what I do. And here's a great tip, anyone listening, if you want to find out what your Instagram or your social media says about you, go to 5 people that don't know you, that have no emotional value on you. Usually someone at the coffee shop, anytime where you go, and just go, hey, what's up? Hey, do me a favor. Look at my Instagram for like 2 minutes. Do me a favor. What do I do? Now, if that's not clear from 5 people, there's an issue. Because if they're confused, what else is everyone else thinking? And you're wasting all this energy and time. It's like, you know, they always say, like, it doesn't matter how, there's this rule, there's this story. 2 guys are running towards to get to the next level, like to get to like the target. One guy's running this way and one guy's running this way. Doesn't matter how fast this guy runs, he's running the wrong way. So it's the same thing with your brand. It's like, you can be putting all this energy into content, TikToks, this and that. But if you're saying the wrong messaging, you could be a year in and like, oh my gosh, this whole time people thought I did this. I don't do that. Or I wish they knew I could have done that, you know? So I have to press on that because that's such an important thing. So if anyone's listening right now and like, you might go, you know what, that's a good free move. I can ask people that don't know me. Don't ask your girl or your mom or your dad, like ask someone that doesn't know you. And if it's not clear, that's the first step. Boom. To your question, I would say press is the best. press, when I talk about press, it's getting in a publication, not a press release, getting in like a feature publication, like a story about who you are and what you do and why you're the best. Because authority is a very powerful thing. Credibility is a very powerful thing. Trust is a very important thing. Those three things are given from press. When you're in a press article, people go, oh, this guy must know what he's talking about, because you're getting third-party validation talking amazingly about you. Think about this. If you and I both wanted to get a personal trainer, right? And we both Googled him, one guy was in Forbes and one guy wasn't. Both cool, both good-looking guys, both looked like they had the great credentials. Who are we choosing?
Yep.
The guy in Forbes. Why? Because he's the one with the press. We know Forbes is a high-quality publication. It's a very luxury. It's very high-end. So he's probably the guy that we're going to give more attention to. So anyone that works with me, I'm like, listen, after the messaging, let's get a quick hit of authority, because not many other people have press. Everyone can get followers. You can buy followers. Everyone can get sexy photos of themselves on Instagram with filters. Not everybody can get in the press. Even if you and I and everybody listening knows that you can buy your way into it, yeah, but 97% of the world don't. So that would be the first step. Messaging, then authority.
Love that.
So for people who want to get these, into presses, with not press release, but get these featured articles written about them, right? What are some steps that they can take in order to get to the place where people want to write about them, right?
Yeah,
or where they have that authority, that, they have something to actually speak about that's going to bring value to other people's lives. How do they get to that point?
Right. So there are two ways to do this. One, you can work with a PR agency or work with me, right? It's like we're the tour guide. We can get you there faster. Why do you work with a personal trainer? He knows what to do, what to say, how to eat, what to eat, or you go to some local tier, like local news outlets in your area. So for example, here's a great tip. This is what I used to do when I didn't know about PR. I'd Google. So go to anyone listening right now, put into Google your city local news. So let's say you're in Alabama, right? Alabama local news. Look at the second page of Google. Because usually if you're in a major city, you're going to be beaten by CBS, Fox, even actually any other local city. You're going to have beaten by the big outlets. Second page is usually the page that is all like the gold. And what I mean by this is you have all the people trying to get attention. They're publications, they're trying to get help. You reach out to those people and say, hey, I love to connect with the person who's the main journalist. Then you are literally pitching who you are. So to Josh, come back to your question, the way to do that is we got to come down with the hook. What makes you, Josh and Anthony, different than every other trainer? What's your hook? You're not just a guy that can get you ripped. Maybe you're the guy that this is where we come in. But what's the hook for a journalist? Why are people going to buy into your story? And this is where media is. So it's not personal trainer wants to help you lose weight. No, the guy that sheds weight in 6 days by eating oranges. You know what I mean? That's a bad example, but that's the idea of a hook. So when they see that in the subject line of their email, new client or new story, they're like, oh, that's cool. I'm clicking that, Mm-hmm. And the way to really help yourself with this, right? If there are some technical people on here, go to BuzzFeed, go to all those gossip magazine websites. They're the best professional copywriters in the game. Their job is to get your attention. Those really shitty, quick, viral things oh man, I clicked that, It's guy loses 20 pounds in 3 seconds by eating peanuts. You're like, shit, I'm clicking that. That, they got you. That's the hook. So Josh, to come back to what you're saying is if you want to get into the press publications, you either pay someone to do it or you go out and do it yourself by talking to journalists who can write about you.
Now, Jay, I have a question for you, and I'm going to use myself as the example.
Right.
So, for example, for me, I have certain press, I have stuff out, I have all this. I'm trying to rank number one, but here's the problem. I have a guy who's an Oscar Grammy Award winner with my name, and he's number one. So I get the back end, right? I'm the second Anthony. So how do you recommend me to push myself to be that first Anthony on Google when you search me?
Well, what are you known for? Is he a trainer?
No. He's a voice actor, I believe. So it has nothing to do with me, which helps me because if you look me up and you type in like fitness or entrepreneur, whatever, I come up first. But if you just type my name, I don't come up first. It's him. You have to either add fitness, entrepreneur, business, or something like that for me to come up.
Yeah, well, I would just tell you the reality of it is like
change your name, Anthony. Not just playing.
Well, yeah, you could change your name, but like you're trying to compete with the name. It's like another name on the internet. Like, you're not sure. You know what I mean? Like you're not like it's like one word or one name. Like just be okay. Like how about owning your keyword? So like no one ever can beat you. They have to put you in like name what you do. You know? Yeah.
Gotcha. Makes sense. Makes total sense.
Look, and if that's a goal of yours, then you've got to literally beat him. But that's going to be tough because he's got years of probably backlinks, you know?
Interesting. Yeah. No, and that's why I asked, because I'm like, let me use myself as an example just to see how other people do it, because I know I'm sure this happens pretty frequently with other.
Oh yeah, it does for me. Yeah, we get this a lot, and here's another move that you can think about before you start to go hard into promotion. Be clear on like, what does your name sound like? Do you have all your URLs? Like one thing that's really important is like if you have your social, try to have the handles all the same. Mm-hmm. Don't make it hard for people to find you. You know?
That's true.
Like if you're listening right now and you have an Instagram, it's like, whatever, Jason Mraz 2962 _ dude, don't like make it easy for people to find you. You know what I mean? And what's always going to be stronger than everything is your name followed by something. Don't have like living with Jason fitness. No one's searching living with Jason. Your brand isn't that strong, right? It's not. Like get them to know your name. Jason Mraz fitness. Okay. That's easy. You know?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I went through something similar not too long ago. I used to have, my brand was, under cause I was always told like, oh, you shouldn't have your name attached to it because if your, name's attached, it's going to be difficult to sell in the future. But, the whole shift in personal branding became huge, right? And people want to know what your name is. They want to know the person behind it. So, shifted obviously to Coach Josh Evans, and, it's definitely helped a lot with people just getting to know, like, oh, he's the person behind it, right? It's not, he's not just there, being like the one shooting the workouts, right? It's him running the show, and it's been a huge help.
Yeah, and that's great. And thank you for bringing that up. That was a hard one for me to understand too, because I was an entertainer for a long time. Dude, no one's going to buy JJ. Like, no one cares. It's how am I going to sell it to an investor? I'm the product, right? But look what Ryan Stern had. Stern did, the real estate guy. Mm-hmm. Huge, right? People book him because they want him to sell the house. But now he's creating like his own like property group. So you can work under the cert. It's like Grant Cardone. Look what Grant's done. Okay, Grant is Grant. If Grant dies, it's going to probably take a hit in the stocks a little bit. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's got Cardone University, Cardone U. Like he's figured out how to leverage his brand name to still bring other people under his licensee program. So that's a great question because I get that a little bit as well. Like I just know that if you build your personal brand to start off with, if you've got 1 million people liking you, guess what? Maybe the time is when you do want to start a brand, you can have it be a part of that brand, but you can sell it. Like that's what a lot of celebrities have done. Look, George Clooney, how much money did he make in that deal?
That's like true.
Huge.
And you're looking now. Look at what these college kids are going to start doing now that the college kids can get paid. Using their name. Working with, obviously brand sponsorships and all that stuff, but it's the name, the influence of your name, of what you do, why people know you. And then when you do create a business, it's like, oh, well, that name is the one that has that business. So I want to associate myself with that business or buy from that business because I like them. I like their personality. I like who they are. Right.
Hey, good look at Gordon Ramsay. Like, how many restaurants this guy got?
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
dude. I went because Gordon Ramsay's restaurant. All right, dude. It's not. If that was like 1, 2, 3 steak, you'd be
They
like,
got Salt Bay.
yeah,
They got Salt
yeah.
Bay.
Huge. And I think now people are starting to realize that it's like other opportunities will come if you have a strong personal brand, right? Like other companies will come in and be like, hey, listen, we want you to invest. We need your help, you know, because you have something strong going for you under your name, right? Which will allow you to then be able to set, like if you get involved in, you know, this water bottle company, you'll be able to help bring more sales into it because, you know, you're promoting it through your page, which then helps bring in, you know, sales for the company, which will then make you more money as an investor.
So Jay,
Yeah.
what are some new things that you're seeing in today's world in the market, and you know, you being a professional, what you do, what are some of the new things that you're seeing that should be taken, you know, at least you should start paying attention to and be like, okay, this can help, you know, probably with your personal brand. This is something we can add on. And what I mean by, like, you know, we're talking about podcasts, TV, press releases, press features, articles, magazines, all that stuff. What is something else, if there's something else, what is something else that you think as professionals like yourself need to start paying attention to and making sure that their clients are getting their feet wet or getting involved in that, because it's going to help them with their marketing and their branding and their sales and all that stuff?
Yeah, great question. Get into some kind of media outlet every month, minimum.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be, you know, trying to get into Forbes every month. You're once again telling the market you're the best, you're number one, I'm the leading expert. Now, I know that's like sort of weird because like you probably aren't the best, you probably aren't the number one, but hey, that's not your place to make that decision. Yeah. You know,
you see brands do it all the time where they stamp the number one this coffee in the world, the number one.
Dude, I'm in Miami, like the number one pizza place. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you're not, but people go there.
Yeah.
Like,
Where are you located exactly?
I'm at Brickell, man, right in the heart of Miami.
Oh,
we should have had you in
here. We're right next door, man.
Yeah, we're right next door. We should have had you in person next time for sure.
We'll do another little.
We're literally located right next to the Four Seasons.
Boy, we're gonna get docked so hard, dude. Thanks for that.
I'm above Komodo.
Okay, awesome. That's a great building.
Yeah, you break around the corner. That's so funny.
Yeah, we're right down the street. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, getting, dude, you can't expect your content alone to do all the work for you. You just can't. You know, it's like once again, coming back to the gym stuff, you just can't expect like one set of training to get you there. It's everything, man. And so like one thing that I'm seeing a lot now, some people are understanding it, and comes back to that mindset, what we keep getting educated on, right? It isn't the best personal trainer, isn't the best speaker, it isn't the best landing page, the website, product. It's the person who's all constantly getting attention.
The best promoter.
Promoter, man. And it sucks, dude. Dude, I get it. I'm the biggest one to understand that. I was an artist for a long time. That mentality, I'm really good, they should just know me. Yeah. Why can't I be verified? I am someone. That ego will make you die, bro.
Love that.
Like, dude, drop it, get out. It's easy for people who've been in a marketing mindset. I haven't. I was in creative talent, I'm amazing mindset. I had to literally it's hard. I had to take the helmet off and put on okay, how would I see myself as a brand? How do I emotionally detach myself from who I am? How do I get this PR agency to be seen as the number one? Dude, you cannot go to anyone else, and just reconfirm that. So I think for anybody listening, and especially now because people can make the money from their iPhone now, understand that instead of going, I need to spend more money on the logo, I need to spend more money on the on the landing page from ClickFunnels. Dude, how about spend some money on promoting? Let's see which is going to get more money in return. Let's play that.
100%.
And one more thing too, it ain't always about Facebook ads.
Agreed.
I agree with that.
Listen, if it was that, wouldn't we all just be wouldn't you 100%. And I just go get $1 million and put it into a Facebook ad and done?
100%. 100%. And sometimes sometimes those ads, if they don't have enough dollars behind it or it's not done correctly, you're losing money.
Dude, it's the offer. Yeah, it's also the offer. And the offer can be weak because you don't have credibility. And you do not have credibility because no one trusts you. And when they don't trust you, they don't do business with you. See how it's a pool of it isn't just the one thing. So I think trust. Yeah, I think it's to come back to a lot of people that, you know, there's more than you see from what you see other people online have. Like, you know, we see the one ad, oh, he's good looking, he's ripped, he's got girls in his videos. Oh, that's how he did it. No, man, I think there's more to it than that.
Yeah,
I agree.
Definitely.
And I'm only being very passionate about this because I'm the guy that does it for a lot of people. I'm the guy that gets people verified. I'm the guy that puts them in the press. They come to me, man. It's like I can name you the people you see online. You're like, oh shit, he did it? Yeah, I know. I can't like legally say their name. I'll tell you. I don't really care. I'll tell you, but like, I'm not going to tell you now, but like, it's more than you think. Like, and I'll tell you, like, Brendan Burchard, like, I haven't worked with Brendan Burchard, so I can say this. Jay Shetty, dude, these guys all use the services in somewhat of a way.
100%.
Yep. It's about having a team around you, right? If you really want to build the type of business and brand that you know is going to be sustainable long term.
Yeah, but remember, not everybody has the luxury to have a team. You know,
Sure.
I don't have money for long enough to have a team. So just being okay to understand, like, okay, well, what can I do? How can I promote today? What else what can I do to get myself out there?
Brother, I gotta say, man, like, we really appreciate all the amazing, you know, bombs you've dropped, all the amazing value you've brought here, giving us clarity on the importance of, you know, understanding your message, right? First of all, and understanding, you know, who you are, what you're doing, and driving that message clearly for people to be able to just say, okay, well, I got that clear. Now let me go out and promote myself correctly. Because I think a lot of people do suffer with that, and we couldn't get clear with our messages. Businesses, personal brands can get better at doing that and then see more results through having that clear. I think that's something truly impactful. And brother, I got to just say, you know, now that we know you're here in Miami, we're definitely going to connect.
Oh yeah,
But
for sure.
Really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Dude, I want to start speaking. Like, I used to be a speaker for a long time, man. So it's like, let's get back to do some events.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm down.
You see New York City? New York City got the mask mandate today. Did you hear it? Did you see what happened at New York City today?
Yeah.
They have now, some of the places you have to show a vaccinated card to get in.
I heard about that.
Dude, Miami's the best. Like, they don't even want you to wear clothes in this city, but they have to.
It's optional. It's frowned upon. Oh, you have a shirt on? It's frowned upon.
Yeah, we don't want you to, but
Oh
please
my God,
put something on the nipples, all right?
I love it. No, brother, thank you so much, brother. I know, you know, Josh, you might want to say something as well, but we really appreciate you truly for coming on here and sharing amazing information.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's been an honor to be able to talk to you. And again, like, now that we know that you're in Miami, we'll definitely be linking up for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And look, let me give you one more move for everybody listening, right? Everything that I've said, right? You're going to be judged. It's going to be scary. You're going to have to put yourself out there. It doesn't matter how many podcasts you get on, how much money you give me. If you don't show up and do something on you, dude, it ain't going to, we can give you the best protein, the best steroids, the best chicken breast, the best trainer. But if you got to lift the weight, man, you got to do the videos, man. Like, there's no other trick. So I'm just telling people, like, if I got to reconfirm that with you, it's like, get your phone out and go, you know what, I'm going to do this, press the button and roll.
You got to show up first. You got to show up first. Brother, once again, appreciate you. And obviously, before we wrap it up, where can people find you? Where can people connect with you?
Yeah.
Throw those plugins.
Yeah. Guys, look, if you're serious and you want some, like, a tour guide in your corner to give you a personalized plan to help you with your promotion, hit me on Instagram at JJLive, JayJayLive, right? At JJLive. Send me a DM and say you saw me on the Sweat It Out podcast. That's what I want to see. And, you know, once again, this, if you're looking for a couple moves or if you want to plan, it's going to cost you money, but you're worth it. And so am I.
Love that. Love that. Thank you, Jason, for coming on, man. We really appreciate it. Bringing the heat. Until next time, guys.
Promote yourself, baby. Woo!
Come on, man. Thanks, guys.
Peace.